Hey guys, and good morning. Here with Senior Burrito, and Senior Burrito is a financial advisor. However, he's kind of on one of those little religious sabbaticals where he's doing the not talking thing for a little bit. So, unfortunately, he's out of the game. I am not a financial advisor. I want to talk to you guys today about something, probably what I think is one of the most important and relevant DAPPs for EOS so far. And I thought that there were some really interesting aspects to this DAPP that I wanted to talk to you guys about, and that involves token leasing. So for anybody who's not familiar, I'm talking about Chintai. Chintai is going to be kind of the first to market and go-to app that's going to deal with token leasing, which basically kind of refers to EOS's real estate and passive income from EOS. And not only that, but I think Chintai is kind of an equalizer in terms of developers. So I'm going to talk about that a little bit today. It's a beautiful day in the background. The sun is shining. Just waking up, got a coffee in me just on my way out the door. But I wanted to do a quick video and go from there. So anyway, enough about me. I think Burrito's done for the day. He's done his financial advising. He's off. I want to talk to you guys about Chintai, and I want to talk to you guys about token leasing. There's a couple of things that I found really interesting about Chintai. Number one, there's not going to be an airdrop for Chintai. And Chintai is actually an initiative that was put together by, I believe it's 12 block producers, and I'm going to list all the block producers below in this video because I think they deserve some recognition, and here's why. Chintai is completely funded and completely paid for by these block producers, and they've come together and they've kind of created this community DAPP. And the beautiful thing about Chintai is that it's completely feeless, so it's not going to cost the user anything to be able to make transactions. And we've talked about EOS as real estate, and I think there's a lot of questions out there about EOS as real estate. So why is EOS real estate? Because every token that you own is essentially bandwidth in the system. So if you own 1% of the total tokens of EOS, you are entitled to 1% of the total resources of EOS. So right off the bat, EOS, the token itself, actually has a function. And the beautiful thing about Chintai is that it's kind of it's a DAPP where you can take your EOS or your bandwidth and you can lease it out to other people to be able to use the system, and you can actually make passive income off of this lease. So how it works is you go to the Chintai website. It's going to be up with basic functionality in June, and you're going to be able to search for a contract that are within your own terms. So in between yourself and whoever's going to be leasing your tokens, you're actually going to make a contract agreement done through a smart contract saying, I am leasing you X amount of tokens for X amount of time. And when you do that, Chintai is going to issue you a Chintai token. And that Chintai token is going to be worth the amount of EOS that you'll receive at the end of the contract. So you're not getting cash, you're not getting some sort of, promise. You're getting actual EOS every time you lease out your tokens. And I think that that's amazing. So you're using your EOS to create more EOS. Which is cool. That's really cool. But the coolest thing about it is that it's kind of it levels the playing field for a lot of DAPP producers out there and developers. And how it does that is kind of like this. Let's say Sally has an idea for a DAPP, and it's a cool idea. Like, this is a groundbreaking thing. But maybe Sally doesn't have the funding to be able to buy up as many tokens as she wants to be able to make it happen. So she can go to Chintai and she can create a smart contract with all the parameters specified for the amount of time that she's going to want your tokens to be leased to her, and as well as the agreed upon rate of return, right? And as I said, the return is going to be in EOS. So what does that mean? And what's the impact of that? Like, how does that even make sense? And why would token developers want to do that? Well, right now the tokens are sitting around $10.70. And let's just say for argument's sake, and I think that this is a viable option. Once again, not financial advice. Burrito he's on an ethical sabbatical. But let's just say Sally creates something and she's not really sure how it's going to go. So she goes to the Chintai platform. She says, I need this many tokens because I think that's where my bandwidth is gonna kind of start. So she gets the allocated tokens, and now all of a sudden she's funded. She doesn't need $10,000, $20,000, $30,000, $100,000, $200,000 in order to be able to go out and make her DAPP happen. At the end of the contract, that Chintai token is going to be paid for in EOS by her to whoever is leasing out the bandwidth for the system. So what that basically does is it allows developers who have some great ideas, but maybe not all the resources in the world, to be able to put their product out there. And not only that, let's just say, and I'm just saying this for argument's sake, let's just say Sally's created the next crypto kitties, right? And so she leases a few tokens, she gets the DAPP going, it's doing really well, people are excited about it, and all of a sudden the usage goes through the roof. So instead of panicking and freaking out and saying like, how am I going to be able to buy all these tokens to be able to make this DAPP work, she just go into Chintai and she can kind of scale appropriately. So it really levels the playing field and just kind of takes down some of the barriers of entry to be able to create some really cool DApps in the ecosystem. And that's a huge thing. That just means that really talented developers don't need hundreds of thousands of dollars or millions of dollars in order to be able to do what they want to do. They can put the product out there, they can define the terms, they can lease the tokens, and they can make it happen. And the things that I'm really impressed by with Chintai, aside from the fact that it's going to really bolster the ecosystem by providing an equal opportunity to anybody who has a really good idea, is that as I said, it's created by the block producers, it's funded by the block producers, and it's not something that they're planning on profiting from. Like, there's not going to be an airdrop. It's just going to be created. These guys have gone out of their way, and there's about 12 of them. And a few of those block producers are some of my favorite block producers. And they've basically agreed to say that this is a community project that we're going to do, and we're going to be able to support new developers who want to do something really cool on the EOS ecosystem. So they're not in it for profit. It's just a way that they're kind of giving back. And not only can we make passive income off of our tokens, but people with really good ideas are not going to have this massive entry barrier into the ecosystem of EOS. I think that's super cool, and I think that's really interesting. And I think that ultimately it's going to make the EOS ecosystem even stronger by just allowing some really smart people who may not have the right resources to be able to make it happen. So if you get a chance, go and check out Chintai. It's going to be reputational based. So what exactly does that mean? That means that when you go into these smart contracts, when you put up your tokens to be able to use and to be able to lease out, they're going to be locked up. So there's no chance that you're going to lose your tokens. They're going to be locked up, and then at the end of the said period that you define, and that period is going to be kind of fluid right now. I know they're throwing around some terms, and they're going to make some kind of basic functionality to start, but at the end of that period, Sally's going to have to pay you back for the amount of EOS that she said she would. Now, if Sally doesn't do that, then you're not going to lose your EOS. She's going to take a hit to her reputation, and people are going to be a lot less prone to be able to pay her back. So Sally doesn't need a ton of money to start. She just needs to make sure that at the end of the term, she's going to have to pay you back. And anybody who's not able to pay you back is going to be identified. There's going to be a reputation associated with them. And ultimately, they're probably not going to be able to lease any tokens. So it's just a cool project. And it's completely funded by BPs. It was kind of a way that the BPs are giving back. I think it's really important that you take a look at the BPs that are involved. Because while BPs can't necessarily pay for tokens, they can do little things like this to try to bolster the ecosystem and to try to make things more accessible, and ultimately everybody wins. So when I really sat down and I broke down the way that Chintai worked, I thought it was really cool. So I suggest you go over, take a look at their white paper. As I said, basic functionality starts in June, so you're going to have an opportunity to lease your tokens. I don't think that this is going to be a super popular or super viable option right off the hop. Of course, as adoption grows and the cost of tokens grow, it's going to make it a little bit more viable because people aren't going to have to buy all the tokens. And they're not going to want to buy all the tokens. You know, if you're a small developer and you need 20,000 tokens and they're $40 a piece, or, $100 a piece, or God knows, in a few years, $1,000 a piece, or whatever it might be. Like I said, I'm not trying to speculate on price. This just allows the little guys to be able to come in, make an agreement, and make things happen. So it's a cool project, and I'm really excited to see what these guys are going to do with it. There's a few other options that they're kind of throwing around, which is blockchain interoperability. So the ability to be able to put other assets up for escrow for tokens, and the ability to pay with that. So it's basically going to put a bunch of resources into the hands of developers, and I think ultimately they're going to be able to make some really, really cool stuff. So that's Chintai. That's how Chintai is going to work. And man, what a gift. Make sure that you go and you take a look at the block producers that are involved. You give them the appropriate credit. Take a look at the white paper, because the future of EOS is coming, and the future of EOS looks good. So I'm going to keep doing these videos. I've gotten a lot of support on these videos so far. I really didn't know what to expect, right? I'm just a common guy, common investor trying to break down EOS, and the response has been really good. So I want to thank you guys for that. I'm going to keep making videos. I'm going to keep fixing my audio, and this is the beauty that is Costa Rica. You guys can kind of see it in the background. It's an incredible place. If you get a chance, go travel, man. Go check out the world, because the world is a really cool place. I've got some interesting things coming up. I've got some new ideas for videos that I want to do. If you have any suggestions, please throw them my way. I've also been talking to a couple of block producers, EOS Costa Rica in particular. So hoping to do some collaborations and keep bringing you guys some good information. Other than that, I got a ton of things to do today. I'm already super behind. I hope you guys have an amazing day, and I'll talk to you soon. You have any ideas for videos? You have any suggestions? You have any feedback? Please post them below. Mash that like button, mash that subscribe button, and thank you guys all so much for watching. We'll see you soon. Bye.